Welcome to the Fight Night Daily Podcast. We're live from Birmingham. Press conference, Liam Cameron versus Ben Whittaker 2. I thought I'd pick the biggest geezer in here to start this podcast off with. Mo, how are you, mate?
Dude, I'm good.
How's the weather up there?
It's nice. It's a little overcast, but about the same weather as we're seeing in Birmingham, but it's okay. We'll make it out.
Listen, let's get straight into it. Liam Cameron, Ben Whittaker, 10 rounds, 12 rounds. What did you make of it?
I mean, look, the reality is an error was made. I don't know. People have been saying they've never seen an error like that before. I feel like errors have happened in contracts before. I don't know. The point is that you had one fighter that agreed to one fighter that agreed to another. At that point, it's the promoter and the manager's job to get it resolved. They got it resolved. Congrats to Liam Cameron. Sounds like he got a nice little upgrade of money for nothing, which is, it's an expensive clerical error, I think, is what happened.
Listen, smart move from Liam Cameron and the team.
Yeah.
And they got a nice little bit of money out of that one.
Yeah.
And it goes 10 rounds. You've got to do 10. When have you ever heard this before, by the way? Normally, right, you start off, you do 4 rounds, and then your money gets upgraded in 6 rounds, 8 rounds, 10 rounds, 12 rounds. This kid's going down in rounds and getting money.
No, I think what's interesting is it was never going down or going up rounds or anything like that because they both agreed to their own side. At that point, it really truly is on Boxer to just rectify it because both of them agreed to the fight that they were going to agree to. But again, look, 10 rounds is 10 rounds. I'm not even sure it goes 10 rounds, to be honest. I actually think both fighters are going to go after each other pretty well. I think that they both have something to prove from the first one. They both can't allow, if Ben comes out not aggressive or he starts getting touched up, that could hurt his confidence. But if he comes out and really puts it on Liam, it might force Liam to kind of take a step back and go, whoa, I didn't see this in the first fight. I think it's going to be cagey for the first 2 or 3, but then I think it's really going to open up.
Ben Whittaker.
Yeah.
Changed trainers.
Yeah.
Andy Lee. Great addition to the team, I think.
Yeah.
The 6 weeks that they've been together, is that enough time to adjust, change things? Will that be a plus for him?
Yeah.
Or will it hinder his performance?
Well, look,
all these things come into play when you get new trainers.
Yeah.
But Andy Lee is a student of the game, and he's flying at the moment.
I think it was a great pickup. I think with Ben, you have someone that is supremely talented with his own style. So sometimes meshing well with a coach is hard. So, for example, he started out with Sugar. In my opinion, Sugar is not, he's different than a lot of trainers. He has his own style. He has his own way of coaching. It may not be as structured as others, or it may have different stylistic changes. So it may not have been a perfect fit. We saw Sugar work with Lawrence Okoli. Lawrence Okoli, in my opinion, had more success with Joe Gallagher. So you have different styles and different coaches. It's important to find what fits best. What I like to see with Ben is he picked up a trainer that has a lot of structure, that has a lot of experience, that's been around a lot of different fighters with a lot of different abilities and styles. I think it makes a lot of sense.
Let's move on. Fraser Clark makes a return after 6 months. I mean, we were out there for that fight. We saw the horrific injury that he picked up against Fabio Wardley.
Yep.
And I was not sure that he was even going to box again. We find him fast forward 6 months. He's in here. Ebenezer Teti. Tough guy, dangerous guy. Proved that last time out against Dillian White. Right opponent. Good to see him back.
Absolutely great to see Fraser Clark back. Look, he's a fighter. I knew he wasn't going to retire. I know a lot of people were calling for it. I think he said that he fractured his cheekbone or broke his cheekbone. I don't think that that's necessarily always a retireable injury, although injuries are different for every person. But I knew he was going to come back and fight. He's not going to go out like that. So I'm happy to see him back. I think that Tete is a great matchup for him. I think it makes a lot of sense. I think for Fraser, it's difficult because he lost that British title fight. So now he's at British level, but he wants to get to that world stage. So he has to start fighting people like Tete, who's fought people like Dillian White and things like that. Tete's got 23 wins. Fraser's got 8. So he's got far more experience. I like the matchup, and I think it's great to stick that on this card.
Brilliant. Listen, Mo, as always, mate.
Good to see you.
Great catching up.
Absolutely.
And we're going to swap you out. I'm going to go big man, and I'm bringing in I'm bringing another big man in. That's more like. That's more like. There you go. That looks better.
I'm a bit tall now.
That's it. How are you, mate? You well?
Very well. How are you?
Yeah, very, very well, mate. Look, what a card we got here. Come on, you can give us a little bit of insight. Come a bit closer, mate.
Come.
I'm going to bite, mate. Like,
don't worry.
listen, talk to us about this Liam Cameron, Ben Whittaker thing. Like, you're one of the guys that were behind all this. 10 rounds, 12 rounds. You managed to squeeze a little bit more dough out of Ben Shalom as well. I mean, tell us how it all worked.
We can't talk about commercial terms, but all I can say is that we're very happy with what we've come out with. Liam's ready. Liam's always had in his mind it was a 10-round fight. Obviously, it was a clerical error, as they must say. But listen, a cowboy mistake, in my opinion. But listen, it is what it is. You won't catch someone like Uncle Frank or Eddie doing stuff like that. But listen, it is what it is. It's made the fight a lot bigger than it is. It's obviously the ticket sales have been good. Everything's bigger than what it was. And I believe that's down to Team Cameron. I don't believe anyone from Whittaker's team or anything like that has made it any bigger. Obviously, their mistake, and then we've capitalised on that. I think we've done an unbelievable job. Appreciate all the help from Queensbury, George Warren. And obviously, Liam's just been getting on with his stuff, doing his training and that. We've kept everything from him, just notified him what he needs to know and stuff like that. He's happy, he's ready. He's confident, we're confident, and looking forward to it.
You said to me out in Saudi, actually, you were going into that when you went, watch this one. This Liam Cameron, watch this kid go. I know Liam, I know the history of Liam. I go back a long way with him. Did we believe that he had that quality, that star quality to beat someone like Ben Whittaker? He was a huge underdog out there. You backed him the whole time. I remember speaking to you before that. After the fight, you went, see, mate, the way the fight was turning and everything else, you go, I know you was fuming at the draw. You felt that he'd won the fight at the time. What's he do different this time?
Listen, Liam's just got to be Liam. Listen, we know that Ben's going to be a lot better than what he was last time. He's got a fantastic coach in Andy Lee. Do I believe that you can change a man in 6, 8, 10 weeks, whatever? Probably not, but do you know what? It is a fight that Ben's going to come in and give it his all. But I believe Liam Cameron's a lot better. I think the confidence that it's give Liam...
I think the confidence that last fight has given Liam, the camp that he's had, the constant training, the love, the support from everyone, it's made him a better person mentally. He's gone through a lot in his life, and I believe going into this fight, he's in the best mentally shape, physically shape, and everything. And I believe he stops him. And I believe later on he stops him. Well, let's bring him in, mate. Let's bring him in. We're talking about the guy here. Listen, unbelievable last time out in Saudi Arabia saying, look, you was a huge underdog going into that fight in most people's eyes. This man was backing you, said, look, watch what happens here. We saw the way the fight was turning. What an opportunity for you, mate. How your life has turned around. I mean, tell me a little bit about how your life has turned around, from then even. Controversy in fights always causes a big rematch. You've got that rematch now. Tell us a little bit about that turn around.
So I went into shopping centre today. I thought I need some good boxes, to get weighed in tomorrow. So man went, oh, I recognise you. These boxes.
What boxes were you getting, by the way?
Kleins. Bit higher for me, but I thought it's a big event. A main event, I'll shell out.
Extra money off Shalom.
I got a bit of extra money, so man went, oh, because I know your face and your story. I'll give you it off price. Got 3 boxes for 22 quid. Bargains.
Mate, what's going to happen if you go and win this one?
I know.
They might be giving them to you.
When
you win this one, they might be giving them to you. Listen, credit to you, mate. You it's all been well documented in the past, what you've had to go through, that 4-year break, the ban from the sport. The way you've come back has been quite remarkable, inspirational in many ways. Now you get your opportunity. What happens in this return? It was interesting you talking about the fight, actually. Going into the last one, you said you didn't realise, actually, that you was as good as you were going to be against him until you actually got in there. Now you know. So what's different?
It's like, do you know what it is? Simon Jordan, I come on show and he was like, thought I had a confidence issue. It's not, it's just me as a person. You had Ben saying he'll be better behave and Bivol. Then you've got me just being humble, going, yeah, I'll do my best. And my best is good enough. That's not a confidence issue. It's just being reality on life.
What do you read into the dramatic change in Ben Whittaker? As in, we know that he's flamboyant. He's been a bit of a showman, bit of a loudmouth and everything. We've not seen that here. He's just been radio silence. What do you read into that?
Very nervous. That's why I shook his hand.
Yeah.
Very nervous guy. I said in the last gloves are off we did, I said, he's not as confident as he makes out. That's all to make his confidence higher. Anyone can put an act on. It's what's in there, isn't it?
And I'm an ex-fighter, so I do understand that you can read fighters, especially when you're getting close to fights and everything else. You look into their eyes, you see their body language, the way they talk. So you feel that there's a lack of confidence inside.
Yeah, definitely. Very, very much.
I know you've agreed to the 10 rounds. It was originally going to be 12, but it makes no difference in your eyes anyway. You're just a few quid better off.
Exactly.
Mine's a 10.
I like to
Yeah.
I like to fight boxer. I like to fight Lee and my manager. He's been the best manager. If anyone boxer what needs a manager, you go to Lee Eaton. And I like to fight Frank Warren and my trainer Pierce. And thanks to talkSPORT, absolutely get it your all for milking it.
Yeah, absolutely. But listen, we love our stories, you know what I mean? And you played your part in that story, and you earned the right for this rematch. The fight was turning on its head in many ways. You get the rematch now. You get to showcase, what's going to go on. What are you going to bring to the table? What are you going to do differently on Saturday, or are you not going to do anything different?
I'm going to bring my best.
Yeah. And your best is going to be enough.
I know.
Brilliant. Well, listen, we can't wait, mate. What's it like, by the way, fighting on a Sunday, Easter Sunday? Did you get him an Easter egg, by the way?
Oh, we need Easter egg.
Any Easter egg?
After.
You got any Easter eggs?
No, it's
Well, the guests are flowing in. We've just got rid of, actually, Lee Eaton. Sorry about that, mate. He did come on before you.
Big boy.
And Liam Cameron. And, yeah, listen, they were saying that they were happy in the end that it was the 10 rounds, not the 12 rounds. The deal had been done.
Yep.
And they're glad to put that to bed.
Listen, it's good to be here. It's been a long ride since October. Feels like a lifetime ago. So to be here, to have a fight of this size, to have a moment of this size, to have an opportunity for Ben Whittaker to really go from star to superstar. Have you ever seen the media interest, whatever you want to say, about a guy who's in his, had 9 fights? It's pretty incredible. I've never seen anything like it.
And I think, when you have these rematches and there's a bit of controversy before them, you remember George Groves and Cole Froch and all those, the fights have controversy. They're always bigger in that rematch. We've got that here in many extents. People have talked about Ben Whittaker being that next superstar of British boxing. He has to deliver in this one, right? He has to come through and he has to win this fight. But, to keep that star status.
Look, he should be winning. I've seen a lot of, this and that about Ben. I just sometimes think people forget how early on in his career he is. There's not many fighters that within 10 fights are even close to this stage. There's not many fighters within 10 fights that can headline a show. There's not many fighters that can headline arenas. Of course, the pressure's on. Of course, he's got to show he's a level above. Of course, he's got to put in a statement. But ultimately, it's just a fantastic fight. And yeah, credit to both of them, but credit to Ben for demanding that this rematch was next. We know what went wrong in the first fight, and we'll put it to bed on Sunday.
I was going to ask you about that. Like you say, who called for the rematch? Is it something that he wanted to do? He wanted to right the wrongs of that last fight going in now, because he's taken a lot of stick and a lot of criticism. In the last couple of months.
Yeah, I'm surprised in the sense that Ben didn't have to take this fight. Whatever happens, the media surround him. He could have had a fight under his belt with Andy Lee first, but he said, and it was his decision straight away, I'm having that rematch and I'm righting a wrong. And I think he deserves a lot of credit, and he's put the pressure on himself. And Sunday night, he will silence a lot of people. There's people willing to jump on people very early on. I think people sometimes forget these boxers are human beings as well. And I think he's dealt with it really well.
Good move, Andy Lee.
Very good move. Sometimes with all the chaos and the drama and the noise and the media attention that surrounds Ben Whittaker, you need that calming influence. He's a fantastic trainer, but he's also a good person. And he's also someone that you can talk to. He's also someone that has been there, been a world champion, been on the big nights, got the T-shirt. What he's done with Jose Parker in the heavyweight division has been phenomenal. But I think more than anything, I think the mental side that Andy Lee will bring to Ben Whittaker is what I'm happiest about.
What is it with you and Boxer putting on shows on Easter Sundays, by the way? It's becoming a little bit of a regular thing, right?
Listen, last year, that Clark Wardley first fight was phenomenal. The numbers were huge. and we had to do it again. And I think this one can top it. It's all people are talking about in boxing right now. We know we have a huge night the week after with you, Bang Ben. But everyone's going to be talking this weekend about Whittaker Cameron. And yeah, it's going to be massive. Easter Sunday, live on Sky Sports. Huge undercard as well. Great card. And I can't wait.
We've heard from Liam Cameron. Now it's time to hear from Ben Whittaker. Ben, how are you, mate? I've got to say, mate, nice suit.
We don't mess around. We don't mess around. I say the little motto is feel good, look good, fight good, and that's what it is.
Well, that's right, mate. Let's talk about fighting good. We get the rematch. After controversies, the rematches are always much bigger. That seems to be the feel going into this one.
Yeah, that's the feel to it. Back at home, Midlands boxing's booming, headliner. You can't really ask for more as a fighter. These are the situations and atmosphere you want. And I think me as a person, when you got these lights, these cameras, these expectations, that's when I turn up.
How good is it to be back at home? You know, last one happened out in Saudi Arabia. You know, the controversy of the ending of the contest. You get a chance to rerun it. How good is it to be at home?
I think nothing really beats being at home. You know what I mean? I'm a person who loves my area, if I'm honest. So being at home, that's an advantage to myself. I know the area. I know people around here. I know the best food places, little silly things like that. I just feel comfortable here. I've boxed in that arena before. I've watched fighting there before. So I'm very familiar with it.
Listen, you've changed your training surroundings now. No Sugar Hill. Andy Lee is the new coach. Tell us, what has he brought to the what has he brought? What has he implemented into you?
The main thing I think he's brought is structure. A lot of people know me, I'm a workaholic, but sometimes that's to your own detriment. My last couple of camps, I'll turn up. We're doing 15 rounds today. We're doing 15 rounds tomorrow, and so on and so forth. And little things like that to burn you out. You can't do that through a long camp. Where Andy Lee, he's ran camps before. He's been a world champion, so he's done camps before. And he just has that structure. And he's a person where if he says something, you listen to it. If he said today you're grafting, you're doing X, Y amount of rounds, you do it. The next day, if he said you're resting, you're resting. So little things like that. And sitting around the table with him, he'll talk you through certain things he's been through, what things might be like. So he's a great person to be around, and I can't complain.
Listen, you talk about 15 rounds. We had the controversy over the 10 rounds, 12 rounds. I mean, it's all been cleared up now. It is 10 rounds.
Yeah.
Did it bother you either way, though?
It was all nonsense, if I'm honest. I pay good money for a good lawyer for a good reasons. Shout out Mo. But he for me, he read head to toe the venue, the date, the money, and the rounds. I signed my part, and I don't know what happened on the other part. But for me, it was all nonsense. It was just to ruffle some feathers. And for me, it didn't even really bother me. Like I said, it was more Ben Shalom. I had to take a lot of stick for it. But for me, it was just laughs and giggles.
Listen, he didn't take just a lot of stick, mate. He lost a lot of money.
Yeah,
in
man,
the process.
they're clever. But like I said, last night I got the text. I heard it was an 8-rounder, apparently. So
don't even go there, mate.
Well,
Don't even start that.
I heard it was scheduled for 8 rounds, man. So you know what I mean.
Brilliant. Well, listen, Ben, we're looking forward, man. Easter Sunday, by the way, have you ever boxed on Easter Sunday before?
I haven't, but it's a great time to be there. Like you said, I'm a Christian. It's a big weekend for me, and I'm excited to perform on that day.
Well, on that note, my friend, we're going to leave it there. As always, thank you so much. Looking sharp, man. I love that. Well, that's it from the Ben Whittaker, Liam Cameron 2 press conference. Catch us live tomorrow from the weigh-in.
On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.